Today I'm going to show you one of the rarest Strat Pluses ever made, and it's lurking inside this case. And before I open this case up, I want you to look at this. This is a Dusty Rose, very, very hard to find color in a Strat Plus. And this is Fiesta Red. It's kind of an orange, pink, red, one of my favorite colors. Back there, hiding in the background, is a lipstick. And this guitar, inside this case, well, the latches have a little bit of corrosion on them from storage over the years, but this is a one-off shell pink Strat Plus from 1987. This guitar was given as a gift from the Fender Guitar Company to a lawyer that worked for Fender, and when he passed away, a guitar collector got some of the items from his estate and put it up for sale, and I immediately got this huge backstory behind that. Inside the case was the original inspection hang tag, also the Fender pouch that had extra springs in it, and the key for the case, the tremolo bar, the early Strat Plus addendum, which these are extremely hard to find. It's a small booklet outlining some of the features of the Strat Plus and the split Wilkinson nut, and also the American Standard Series booklet that came out with the newly designed American Standard, since the Strat Pluses were kind of made after the American Standard. This has the original Fender cloth in it, and then these are the strings I put on it. When I got this guitar, it had the original strings from 1987 on it. They were rusty. I had a hard time pulling them through. This guitar is unplayed, dead mint, one-off, shell pink. And you'll notice that there is a difference between shell pink and Dusty Rose, and we'll get into that in just a second. This guitar has pickups on it. Now there's only one little teeny ding right there on this body, and I don't know how it got there. It almost looks like it came from the factory that way. I don't know, but you can kind of see the sparkly gold metallic in it. When I turn it like this, it's actually a silver gold metallic in it. The frets are untouched. And here's a really cool feature. This has the star locking tuners. Spurzal star locking tuner. The Spurzal star locking tuners only came out on a handful of very early Strat Pluses. And like I say, this is a one-off, and it's a one-off prototype. This particular color was never listed by Fender for sale on the Strat Plus lineup, but it was offered historically back in the 1960s, and it was called Shell Pink, which was actually was a DeSoto color, and it was color code 56. So this is a one-off shell pink Strat Plus that must have been custom made for a gift for a lawyer and is a prototype. I'm sure some people probably would refer to this color as a candy apple pink. And as you can tell, it's completely different than Dusty Rose. Oftentimes people call Dusty Roses shell pink, but it's just not the case. Dusty Rose is a solid color, and shell pink lives up to its name of looking like a seashell. It has a really fine metallic in the finish. And it's really quite unique. This is one of the oldest Strat Pluses I've ever come across, as of yet anyhow. It came off the assembly line on July 27th, 1987. This was only 1 month after John Page made the first two Strat Pluses in Fender's custom shop on June 22nd, 1987 to be taken to NAMM. And if you look at John Page's custom shop logbook, you'll see that the very first guitars to come out of a custom shop, work order number 1 was a 5700 Strat to be sold to Buddy Rogers Music, and then 2 of 57 Strat Mary Kay, that was for Fender marketing. And then you see work orders number 4 and 5, which was a Strat Plus in graffiti yellow and a Strat Plus in surf green. And these were made for basically for the NAMM show. They were the prototypes that came out June 22nd. So no Strat Pluses were sold prior to June 22nd. And like I say, this one came out in July, and it was right before they actually released the Strat Plus product line. Some of the earliest production models I've seen were from August of 1987. When you look at the back of the pickups, you'll see they don't even have any serial number stickers on the back. You know, those little gold Mark of the Beast stickers that you see on some Strat Pluses. Instead, what you'll see is a hand-scribed number, and what I was told is Jeff Lace when he was just a teenager. He'd get home from high school, he'd go in the afternoons over to his dad's company, Lace Music Company, and he would hand inscribe the production number on the pickups. When you look at the pickups in this guitar, you'll see that they're scribed number 58, number 72, and number 94. So these were some of the earliest lace sensors to come from Lace Music Company. The soldering is pretty interesting on the wiring too. It's kind of like they're trying to figure out how they were actually going to do it. And as you look at it, there's some variations compared to later Strat Plus wiring. This has the big fat resistor on the TBX, and another interesting feature besides the split Wilkinson roller nut is the Spurzl locking tuners. And I just pointed that out just a little bit earlier, but check out these tuners. These are very rare. I've seen these go on eBay for over $300 just for one set of these because they're extremely rare. Fender used them on some custom shop guitars, and they used them on the very, very earliest Strat Pluses. Another interesting feature about this guitar is that it has the bob body, and you'll notice that it has a really, really thin curvature to the body right there. This is the old CBS CNC machine settings for cutting the bodies. And then in late 1987, they went over to the parallelogram type body, or what they call the new Corona body, which is a bigger and flatter and squarer edge on the back. You notice the difference here. This is really big and flat here, where this guitar is more rounded right here, and then really rounded right there. I'm going to do another video on the whole history of the bob body sometimes. John Page and I, John Page used to be the guy that worked in Custom Shop and founded Custom Shop. Now he's the owner of John Page Guitars. He and I came up with the bob body name. It's more of a joke, and now it's really caught on the internet. Getting back to that Custom Shop log, if you look at it, you'll notice that the first two Strat Pluses made came off the assembly line in Custom Shop in June 22nd, 1987. The earliest production Strat Plus I've ever seen is August of 1987. When you look at the route inside the body, you'll see that there's this pointed area in the route that's between the control cavity and the pickup cavity. Later, guys in production, I think, complained a lot about this little pointed thing because it made it really hard to get the wires down in between the control cavity and the pickup cavity. So they sawed off that end and made it square to make it easier to actually wire the pick guard onto the body. If you look really carefully on the body, you'll notice that that fine metallic shows up when the light hits it just right. Look at this guitar. It hasn't been touched at all. Not a single scratch on it anywhere. When I got it, I think it hadn't been out of the case maybe a handful of times. The strings were really rusted. I had a hard time pulling the strings off the original strings. I think I pointed out there's one little teeny ding on it right here, and I don't know how it got there, but apparently sometime when it was taken out of the case it must have gotten bumped, or it almost looks like a defect from the factory. But I can't imagine them giving a guitar away as a gift. It was a prototype that had a little ding on the body, but that's it. I mean, the pickups are like brand new on this guitar. Everything is like brand new. It's super clean. One other feature that the early bob bodies came with was these bridge screws were actually like a big wood screw, and they just screwed right into the wood, and then the bridge rested against it. And then later on, when like about late 1987, they started putting a brass insert down into the body here, and then they had a bridge post that screwed into the brass insert.